expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.
The role of a woman in the society is to submit. Birth control are the pills of the devil. Education is so fundamental to the development of a people. Hang murderers. Simple as that. What am I voting for? Voting will change nothing.
Tout le monde haïtien, como ye. God save the Queen.
Broadcasting live from ILTV Studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. Welcome to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. I'm a Justice of the Peace here in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And of course, I'm a member of the local Catholic Christian community. Well, you remember yesterday I complained about the fact that the Coconut Grove Public Clinic has been closed from September. Well, I was inundated yesterday evening by female workers, nurses who are assigned or who was assigned to the Coconut Grove Clinic. And they're very upset and fed up over the delay in the government opening up the clinic. Today, however, is the birthday of the Minister of Health, my doctor, Dr. Dwayne Sands. Happy birthday, Dr. Dwayne Sands, and please quickly celebrate and get these clinics open. Well, I've been advised that this morning, approximately 80 to 100 Negroes assembled in Rawson Square outside the Honorable House of Assembly. I'm still awaiting further information as to what the Negroes were protesting against. I'm advised that quite a number of them were disgruntled FNM supporters. So the FNM is now in fighting. Today, I shall look at remarks of the Attorney General, the Honorable Carl Bettel. Carl Bettel, who was provided a flimsy excuse to the Tribune as to why the two senior police officers disobeyed orders of a magistrate to show up to court and testify. And then a mystery that occurred in Baintown for over 40 years has finally been solved. I always wondered who was stealing all of the knaps. Well, the Prime Minister, Dr. the Honorable Hubert Alexander Minnis, in church, the Big Jumper Church, East Street, the Church of God of Prophecy, Dr. Minnis, after over 45 years, finally has come forward and confessed that it was him who was stealing the knaps from the chief overseer, Bishop Franklin Ferguson. So we look at the Prime Minister and his comments at the Church of God of Prophecy. And then, of course, a letter from Dick Lightburn, the former Monarchy Member of Parliament, has written a letter to the editor. It was published on Monday in the Nassau Guardian. And the next thing I know, Dick Lightburn has also written to us. This is Freedom March. It's a wonderful day, and we look at issues when I return. Don't forget now, We are also broadcasting on 105.3 FM, The Beat. This is Freedom March. I'll be right back.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on 105.3 FM, The Beat. This is perhaps the newest radio station in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. My name is Rodney Monker, and I'm in studio by myself. I'm waiting on the spiritual advisor, who I suspect today he's doing school run. Spiritual advisor, drive safely. I'm still awaiting your safe arrival. Well, folks, in Grand Bahama, there's a lot of talks about breast cancer. I don't know why, but when I hear talks about breast cancer and prostate cancer, for some unusual reason, some strange reason, I like to participate in those discussions because I have my own theory. Now remember, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a health professional. And it is not my desire to influence anyone's position. I always say, if you're not feeling well, if you suspect that something is wrong with you, seek medical assistance. But I have my own theory. I have my theory on prostate cancer based on anecdotal evidence. I have my own theory on breast cancer based on anecdotal evidence and observations. And I thank God, I don't know for how long, but I thank God that I have been given an awesome responsibility when I was introduced to radio and TV. And it gives me an idea as a layman, as a grassroots man, to challenge many things that the more sophisticated members of the society and the professionals may say. But I say to the nation, nothing that I say as it pertains to medical health, you're not to accept that. I'm just having fun as I discuss theories that I've held for over 30 years, but never had the means by which I could express it nationally. And I thank God, and I'm humbled by it. I was looking at one of the Negro newspaper. I don't remember which newspaper it is. And there was this article on breast cancer on Grand Bahama. Now, why would that have attracted my attention? It would have attracted my attention in view of the fact that there is a major environmental controversy taking place nationally when our Prime Minister, Dr. the Honorable Hubert Alexander Minnis, sat down with men whom Mrs. Nikki Kelly, the journalist who makes a weekly contribution to the Punch, where she described them as carpet baggers. I think that was her word, okay? So that is why I think I was attracted to the article. I'm going to read something to you, and this is for the whole nation, but particularly Grand Bahama, because this is where the medical professional spoke from. A leading international oncology and hematology specialist is urging medical practitioners in the Bahamas to persuade patients to act immediately on early signs of breast cancer, noting that many women are adept at avoiding follow-up scans and exams, leaving themselves vulnerable to more advanced stage cancers that are harder to treat. Dr. Zina Naled, who serves in dual capacity as chair of the Department of Hematology Oncology and director of the Cleveland Clinic, Florida Maroon Cancer Center, ranked among the best in the nation, made the comments while addressing the Grand Bahama Medical Conference in Freeport on February 23rd. Indicators that the medical community recognizes, but patients often do not include hereditary factors, the likelihood of diagnosis before the age of 50, and whether or not there is Eastern European or Jewish descent, said Naler. Understanding the increased genetic risk enables you to evaluate your options in advance. Along with heritage and family history, research continues to reaffirm that lifestyle plays a critical role. Excessive alcohol consumption, a poor diet heavy on processed or fast foods, and obesity contribute to the likelihood of cancer. And part of the greatest concern is the young age at which Bahamian women experience the disease. According to Minister of Health, Dr. Dwayne Sands, black women in the Bahamas are diagnosed with breast cancer 2 decades earlier and usually 2 stages later than most women elsewhere in the world. That is one of the reasons Naler pressed the importance of paying attention to the first sign of a lump, fatigue, insomnia, or loss of appetite, and follow through when a medical professional recommends further tests. She said that sadly, too many women who could have caught their cancer earlier and improved their chances of remission or full recovery wait. She said they lack seriousness or do not have enough faith in the exams, and they often do not go back for a suggested scan because their previous scan showed nothing. So why go again? She said many also had concerns with costs, insurance, and scan issues. But the most important thing they need to realize is the sooner the detection, the easier the cure, said the specialist, a certified principal investigator by the Academy of Clinical Research Professionals. So, in the Bahamas, we've been hearing for years, all of a sudden, we seem to see a lot of our people being diagnosed with all kinds of cancer, right? It's breast cancer. Now we are discovering that it's prostate cancer. And then the other day, Dr. Dwayne Sands, the Minister of Health, said that this month, March, was what kind of cancer? Colon cancer month. And he said it was better to now discuss it, perhaps do the various tests before you start either seeing the signs or develop colon cancer. Because all of a sudden in the Bahamas, you're either dying of breast cancer, you're dying of prostate cancer, you're dying of colon cancer. And then I got a shock when they told me, one man that I know very well, he got breast cancer. And when they told me that man was having breast cancer, you know, that was shocking. So these are some of the medical concerns. But this doctor pointed out that one of the major concerns affecting the woman them is the cost factor to get the mammography, the scan, and whatever other kinds of examination of the mammary glands. Certainly, if the FNM is serious about saving the lives of the people, damn, what are they doing about national health insurance? What are they doing about it? Or am I saying it correctly? Is it national health insurance? I think I have the name confused. But the insurance that deals with taking care of our people. Now I have some theories. You've heard my theory on prostate cancer. The other day I told you what Dr. Robin Robbins said about Dr. Robin Roberts. You know, the urologist. He gave about 10 reasons that contributed to prostate cancer. And then I came along and I said, now I'm no doctor, but based on the observation in my Ma family, the next contributing factor to prostate cancer is keeping sweetheart. And if you were to test my theory, just quietly, starting from the day, everybody who died from prostate cancer, starting from the day, you go and check quietly to see if they were keeping sweetheart. I also have my theory on breast cancer, and I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm 61, and at 61, I have the right to express my anecdotal observation. I think I have a right to do it. I think I should do it in a very sensitive and respectful manner. But I have a right. And I'm not ashamed to tell people what I believe. And I've always expressed it. In fact, I was fortunate to be sitting at the Cancer Association, whatever the group name. And I tried to avoid talking. And they keep harassing me. Mr. Monkey, you gotta say something. I said, I really don't want to say anything. And they insisted. So I got up and I told them, I said, listen, I believe. Well, it's gonna make me smile, so I won't say it. A relative has said to me, if I'm saying anything and I begin to smile, don't say it. But I spoke to them and I told them what my theory is. And I warned them about bad man. I told them. But I won't say it today because I'm beginning to smile. And I try to remember what a close relative has said to me. He said, listen, if you start to smile, don't say it. And I'm smiling, so I won't say it. So women, you should agitate your members of parliament. You should agitate them so that the government will make provision for all the woman them who needs to have breast examination, whatever kind of breast test, because what time is it? It's the people's time, okay? And take it from me, if Minnis wants to do it, he can do it, all right? They can do it. So I thought I'll mention that. And then afterward, I see in the sports section of, was it the Tribune or the Nassau Guardian? One of those Negro newspapers where they have announced that Island Luck and the Island Luck Care Foundation came on board as the title sponsor for the Carifta Trials, which is set for this weekend at Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium. And according to the newspaper, the company, that's Island Luck, donated $50,000 towards the trials. All right? So that is what is taking place. And the Carifta Trials will get underway on Friday at 5 p.m. at the stadium and continue on Saturday starting at 2 p.m. at the stadium. And Island Luck and the Island Luck Cares Foundation was introduced as the title sponsor for the trials yesterday. That organization will be throwing $50,000 behind the staging of the trials this coming weekend. And a total of 42 local sponsors have come on board with the Carifta movement in the Bahamas. And Carifta itself is set for the Easter holiday weekend, March 30th to April 2nd at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium, We want to thank Island Luck. That's what the newspaper, I'm really reading what is reported in the newspaper. We want to thank Island Luck for their invaluable contribution and are indeed grateful to Corporate Bahamas for coming on board with these trials and with the Carifta Games, said Bahamas Association of Athletic Association President Rosamond Carey, who doubles as the Chief Executive Officer of the 2018 Flow Carifta Games Local Organizing Committee. The excitement is truly building to the extent that we have over 350 athletes registered for the trials. And even today, we are still receiving entries, so we are looking at over 400 athletes competing this weekend. Everyone wants the opportunity to be able to represent the Bahamas. And the only thing that is left is for Bahamians to come out in large numbers to show their enthusiastic support of our athletes as they compete with all their might for sports on this year Carifta team. It's important for us to support our young athletes. So folks, the games comes up on the 30th of March and it ends on April the 2nd. And I think thousands of Bahamians should show up and support it. And when you come with your flag. Now I tried teaching y'all about nationalism and patriotism. You go to the games, you have on your national colors, bring the children them, and the woman them, and the man them, and support it. Okay? I don't think I would be able to attend it because I have plans to go down to Harbour Island so that I could meet the people there. So this is what is taking place, and Island Luck and We Cares Foundation has made a significant contribution towards the youth of our nation, and that is always positive. And I call on all corporate entities to support in the development of our young people. I think it's powerful. Indeed, I think it is powerful. So, get ready. And athletes, if Kendall Nottage was the Minister of Youth, he would have been shouting, numero uno, number one. That has been the rally cry of the PLP from Kendall Nottage, a former Minister of Sports, announced it. This is Freedom March. I'll be right back after the break.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. Expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV
Studios here in Nassau, Bahamas.
My name is Rodney Monker, and of course my spiritual advisor. What radio are we broadcasting on?
We're broadcasting live on the newest radio station here in the Bahamas, launched by 105.3 The Beat.
This is powerful. And of course, my name is Rodney Monker, my spiritual advisor. Praise the Lord. He's here. Bradley, welcome to Freedom March.
Thank you, Mr. Monker.
And how are you feeling?
Well, I still got this cough situation. 105.3 The Beat also has a app I think you can download, www.
We have an app?
Yeah, I can see it. It's www.
Let me ask the producer. Producer, we have an app?
www.105.3
But nobody told me there's an
Peak.com?
app.
I see it on the...
He said it's a website.
Oh, it's a website.
But let me have an app. Because I want an app.
Well, you can download it to your phone, yes.
Yeah.
And you can listen to
This is
the
powerful.
station on the phone.
But you're feeling better.
Yeah, I'm trying that honey.
Go ahead, my spiritual.
That honey and some lemon.
What about the
It's
other
working.
recommendations?
I had some Mucinex, right? Boy, and I can tell you, I was in a parking lot for half an hour.
What were you doing?
It knocked me out.
When you say knock you out, what you mean?
I don't know.
Really?
I got sleepy. Yeah.
Be careful then.
Yeah.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
is powerful.
I shouldn't have called that name. Forgive me, Mr. Producer. I'm sorry. Eh?
Well, don't mind that.
It's free advertisement.
Yeah, don't worry about that. Look, folks, welcome back to Freedom March. Today, in the newspaper, there is this national announcement that Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Hubert Alexander Minnis sat down and once again he witnessed the signing of a $45 million investment for Habra Island. It is to be noted that in or on the front page of the Tribune has a photograph, and we can see once again this is another white man. He is signing the heads of agreement. Dr. Minnis appeared to be watching him closely. And then the Tribune has the quote of an F&M senator. This is Senator, I know this senator, but for some reason I cannot call her name. My spiritual advisor, you are younger than me, and in more recent time, you're closer to the party than I am. Who is the name of that Negro woman? Senator, the Honorable Anna Faye, what?
I don't know. Who's the
Ezekiel. I cannot properly identify the name of the Negro woman senator. But it's interesting that she was very concerned that the Tribune put her quote, God, I hope he signs the right name.
That's how it tastes, though. That I don't know if
All
that
right?
should really be on the front
Hold
page.
on, my spiritual advisor. You stop it until I make my point.
Okay. Forgive
For
me.
heaven's sake, you keep covering up for this no good pointless government.
No.
Wait till I finish.
This is a major tabloid. Why
right?
would this be on the front page?
This is
Mr.
not
Martha?
a tabloid. The Punch.
Okay.
Hold on a second, my spiritual advisor. Let me teach you.
Yeah, correct me.
The leading newspaper
in
for
the
the Free
country.
National Movement is the Tribune.
Well, why are you doing that?
After that, it's the Nassau Guardian.
The leading newspaper in the country.
Now, when it comes to tabloid, this here is a tabloid, the Punch. Now, the Tribune has Senator Anna Faye Knowles, I think her name is,
Oh, that's what that is.
right? And she turned to the Secretary General of the party and the F&M Member of Parliament for Golden Gates.
I don't know if she said that, though.
What the heck you mean you don't know what she said? The F&M, the Tribune will never lie on the F&M. You hear me?
How?
And she says,
This doesn't make
God, I hope he signs the right name. This is very, very important.
unprofessional.
Because,
View.
my spiritual advisor, would you please stop running interference? When I finish talking, or you want to go first?
No, go ahead.
I can let you go first. Use my spiritual advisor. What do you think is wrong with it?
Listen, this is the leading newspaper in the country,
Yes.
is it? We have two of them, the Tribune and the Guardian.
Okay.
All right. Why would something like this be placed on the front page of the Guardian?
That's not the Guardian.
Sorry, of the Tribune, right. Why would something like this be placed on the front page of the Tribune?
Because
Knowing full well all the controversy, all of the kickbacks, all of the feedback, all of the rah-rah, all
why?
of the
You know why?
ray-ray. going on in the country.
senator.
After this Oban debacle.
The senator.
Why would this Tribune newspaper have this on its front
Because
page?
they're merely quoting what the senator...
unprofessional.
I don't think it's unprofessional. The Tribune will never do anything unprofessional to the FNM. We can't trust
But
Minnis.
what does this mean?
God, I hope he signs the right name. Minnis is finding white people
Boy,
to head into the agreement with, and we're now discovering that the first white man signed an Indian man name.
This is actually making a mockery of the Bahamas government.
It is a mockery.
Yes, but you
Minnis
don't- but
is
you-
a
but you- but you
jokey
don't
prime
do that.
minister.
You don't do that.
What you mean? You didn't see the Tribune's editorial?
It's adding insult to injury.
No.
Mr. Monka.
No.
Wow.
So the government, I hope, what is the name of this man? Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis and investor Michael Vina.
Hey, look through.
I hope Mr. Vina, the new investor, take note. Say, Mr. Vina, Senator Knowles is concerned that she asks God as she whisper to the member of Parliament for Golden Gates, what is Mr. Folks' name?
That's Michael Folks, eh?
Mr. Michael Folks. And she said, my God, I hope he does, let me get it.
I don't think she said that.
What you mean you don't think she said
don't
that?
think she
God,
said
I
that.
hope he signs the right name.
Wow.
What you mean she ain't said?
This is a shame.
What is the shame? What are you so upset about?
This is a crying shame
Huh?
that this lead newspaper decides to make a mockery of a sovereign government by doing this on the front page. You know, if this was someplace, maybe page number 4, 5, or 6, you know? You understand me? A lot of people miss that. But it's on the front page.
Well, let's
Mr.
deal
Monka.
with it.
It's on the front page.
I think it's powerful. All right?
Wow.
May I?
And see, and all this does is just feeds right into you, hey.
How
It's
you
amazing,
mean?
hey.
How you mean?
Now you could have,
Me and the Tribune,
you could run the town on this
me and
one.
the Tribune used to work together, you know. And I'm ready to return to work.
I tell you.
Mrs. Eileen, Karen, you write them good articles and I'll read them. All right?
Wow.
We never agreed on minutes. The Tribune,
Who's me?
I'm telling you, don't forget I was a part of the coup. All right? We never agreed on minutes.
You was a part of the coup.
Yeah. You forget I was in the Senate?
That's 7?
Yeah. All right?
It's amazing, eh?
And today, Richard Lightman has sent me
But
a
you
letter.
still won a nomination for being in Grandstown.
No.
And you was a part of the coup.
No. Let's keep focused. We don't want to make precious hour. So there's
boy,
$45 million. But the nation has no confidence in the ability of the Prime Minister that his senator turns to his MP. You got to get the Tribune and say, God, I hope he signs the right name. Because Minnis has turned out to be the jokiest Prime Minister in the Western Hemisphere. That we ain't sure who these white people is. All right? I'm going to need the FBI to help us. I'm going to need the United States government to give us a hand. Because these Negroes, they are incompetent. And so I think it's powerful that Senator Anna Faye raises the question, God, I hope he signs the right name.
So, this insert here,
Yeah.
this means that she says that.
Well, it isn't Michael who's saying it. She's whispering it to Michael. They know Minnis is jokey. It's a jokey government.
So it would mean that one of the Tribune reporters who was here at this side and heard us said this.
Listen to me.
And they put this in there.
If the Tribune put that there, I accept the Tribune.
Okay.
Even if they were to deny it, I accept the Tribune because the Tribune loves the
I'll
FNM.
ask Michael what she said.
Okay, you may ask
Yeah.
Michael, no problem.
I'll ask Michael what she said.
So there's $45 million investment. All right? And it appears that we have to now go over that head of agreement with a fine what?
Teeth comb.
What kind of comb?
Fine teeth comb.
Teeth comb?
Everything is in place with that one, though.
But listen, I ain't trusting Minister.
Yeah.
No,
Everything's in place.
No, sir.
Yeah.
I'm not trusting. Minister has lost credibility. His entire cabinet has lost credibility. And that battered woman, what her name is?
The EIA was in
The
place with that
cabinet
one.
secretary. I have no confidence in Camille. No confidence. They are a bunch of incompetent Negroes. And I am demanding that the leader of the opposition demand a copy of the heads of agreement so that the PLP could examine it, because we can't trust minutes. Because once these white people show up and they start to sign, minutes don't give a hoot what they sign. Now on the front page, as government senator, look what she's saying. You know, bring this camera up closer so the people them can see it. There she's whispering to MP Michael Foles, God, I hope he signs the right name. Boy, we in trouble? We are in trouble. We are in trouble. But my spiritual advisor...
But you're jumping over the major headline here.
What's that?
And I'm thanking God for this. I'm sure most Bahamians.
What? No.
Fast track.
No, listen, this is unimportant.
Fast track
This
justice.
is unimportant because as we talk,
How's this unimportant?
2 Haitian boat is on its way.
Right. Don't worry, they'll be
So
intercepted.
we're not dealing with that now. We're going to deal with
Why we can't do it?
economic.
Fast track justice
You wanna talk
sends
about that?
illegals home, Mr.
You don't wanna-
Monka.
you don't wanna talk
This
about
is
the-
something that should have been happening years and years and years ago, Mr. Monka.
Okay.
So let's you're missing the major
I better
headline
talk
here.
to Paul Wally. Paul.
Really?
Billy.
You're missing the major headline here.
Paul La. You gonna have to watch spiritual advisor.
No.
Paul.
We're watching
Est-ce
people.
que vous connaissez, monsieur? Il paraît mes pères moyens. Gardez pour lui. Parce que tout chaud, les y arrive, il parle mal. Non, haïtien père moi, non. Gardez pour lui. OK? And là où il chance, ma baisse nous pour porter, monsieur, dans le monde Haïti, pour porter
Yeah.
café noir.
Right. So what this actually does is it gets
Look how the
those.
spiritual advisor is recognized.
But listen.
Go ahead.
No.
I'm going to call on the woman them to curse you out
No,
today.
no. What
Go
this
ahead,
does,
talk about it.
what this does is it really gets the illegals to understand that we are now putting our feet down as relates to people who wants to enter this country
Okay.
in a legal fashion.
All right.
You break the law, we're going to make sure that the law take its course and you're fast tracked and sent back to your country.
Okay.
We just can't afford to have these Haitians coming here the way they're doing it.
Okay.
It's not right, Mr. Monka.
Okay.
You're a gangster if you break the law.
Okay. Say it again.
You're a gangster
If you.
break the law.
This is powerful.
All right?
Give me. A
Absolutely.
moment.
So
Okay.
we could deal with this fast track
right.
justice. It's something that should have been in place for years. Oh my God.
Okay.
We would have solved this issue, especially what we have going on in the Pigeon P in Albuquerque. And
The people in the Pigeon P-
the 12 shanty towns that
Listen
we
to
have
me.
here on this
Albuquerque
island.
Haitian, they came here lawfully.
Not all of
Under
them.
the UBP
Not
and
all
the
of them.
PLP. But let's get to the economic
Yeah.
aspect. You finished with
Let
the
me,
Haitians?
let me leave your show, man. Go ahead. Let
Go-
me
go-
get back to the Bible. Let me get back to the Bible. You go ahead.
After cursing out the Haitian, you want to get back to the
Yeah,
Bible?
let's get back to the Bible.
You better leave my people alone, you know. You hear me? You finished with them?
Yeah, I'm done with that one.
Okay, because I'm very upset over what took place.
I'm done with that.
All right?
They flew a magistrate down there. I figured they was gonna do it.
Listen to me.
They flew a magistrate
What
down
they
there.
did, you're not going to hear this from anybody
All right,
else. Listen
and
to
that's
me.
the correct thing. Don't
Listen to
bring
me.
them all the way to New
Listen to
Providence.
me. What they did was unlawful.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Say so.
Me. But I've decided I don't want to touch it
They
yet,
did it
'cause
the way the law says it should be done.
I want you to listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
In that case, they can now put the magistrate at the prison.
They can do that.
Right?
And a detention center.
All right? That is
Which they
not the
could.
way it should be done. But I don't want to discuss it yet because I've not completed my research.
So how come Fred Smith have not said anything about
Man,
this yet?
don't worry about Fred Smith. Fred Smith will strike them when it's dark. Don't forget that.
I got you.
front.
Go ahead, man.
All right?
Knock yourself out.
So let's leave that alone for the time being. Menace will understand that he cannot defeat us, the Haitian people. We are everywhere.
Cannot defeat us.
Cannot defeat us.
Wow.
We are everywhere. It's too late. All right?
You still don't go out for treason, you know.
How I could go out for treason?
You're Bahamian, you know.
But I'm a Bahamian.
Who's us?
The Asian people. Right? He cannot beat us. All right? Ou pa konnen, monsieur gain power parce que ti garçon aller dans Haïti pour chercher pour haïtien beaucoup. You liquido mama comme ça. So, my spiritual advisor, make get back to the show.
And you're both so proud to be a member of the Catholic Church.
Pour qui ça vous dit ça? Laisse-moi parler tradition
Boko,
haïtienne.
Boko and Jack
Boko.
Pabom.
Tout catholique.
Yeah.
Quoi ça?
M'attendez?
Oui.
Okay.
And you licky down mama. So let's get back to English.
Absolutely.
Now, you've thrown me off guard, my spiritual advisor, but
Forgive
I
me.
shall return to the Tribune.
Can you gather yourself?
All right? There on the front page of the Tribune, we have a respectable looking investor, Michael Vena. Looks respectable. He does not look to me like he's a man who would do anything untoward. Just looking at him, right? I have not completed my research on him. But a senator in the government was so concerned that she whispered over to Michael Folks and says, God, I hope he signs the right name. That is a very serious indictment of the FNM. A serious indictment. But the senator wrongly put it on the investor. She should have said to Michael Folks, my God, I hope Menace ain't bring us another crook, another fraudster, because this white man look decent. He looks like a saved white man, well-grown and so forth. But that is what the FNM senator says. So truly, it is an indictment of Dr. Menace. That is what this is. So we look at what they're doing. According to either the National Guardian or the Tribune, developing, let's see how it goes. Secretary of the Cabinet, goodness of my seat, Camille Johnson, and M4 Harbor Island Limited President Michael Vena signs ahead of agreement as Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Menace looked on. Developing a self-sustained, minimally invasive luxury property is the focus of real estate developer Michael Vena, who yesterday signed a heads of agreement with the government for the $45 million expansion of the Harbor Island Club and Marina. Vena, who is the principal of development company M4, said the company will go out to bid next week for construction of the marina. And soon after that process, construction will begin. I expect that the bid process will be 60 to 90 days, and then we'll start construction immediately after he told Guardian Business, following the signing of the heads of agreement. We're going out to bid first on the marina, and that plan infrastructure, then civil engineering. We don't yet have approved plans for the structures on land, so that would follow. So the initial bids would not reflect the entire scope of work. The plan is to expand the marina and redevelop the property into 28 guest rooms and 10 villas. It is expected to produce more than 200 construction jobs and 72 permanent positions once the project is completed. The single-phase project is estimated to take 2.5 years to complete. Ryan Pinder, who is a partner at law firm Graham Thompson and also Viner's attorney, said it is important to note that Viner has retained 2 Bahamian environmental consultants on the project to be able to ensure he can accomplish his goals in environmentally sensitive ways. Some of that involves replanting mangroves within the marina structure to preserve fish habitats and natural marine habitats. Natural trees are being preserved within the property. So all of the environmental concerns are being addressed, Pinder said to Guardian Business. He added that the company also plans to maintain the historical elements of the property. As for concerns regarding the difficulty of completing a project of this scale, given power generation challenges in the family islands, Viner said, "I always like a good challenge," pointing out, however, that his goal is to make the property as self-sustained as possible. If we can, we would like to have our own power, but I believe we are required to purchase power from the local utility company. So we are waiting for a response in terms of power from the local utility company, he said. We do intend to be self-sustaining for water and sewage. The development is expected to cater to larger yachts and is ultimately geared towards high net worth tourists, according to the developer. While Viner said it is too early in the development process to discuss marketing strategies, he believes Harbour Island already attracts the clientele that his property would target. We're working with a company that does that. We're working with a company that does that. The plan is not yet developed, but the clientele is already on the island, and the idea is to attract more of who is there, he said. And I think with world-class facilities, we will continue to attract more people. Well, it's my hope to be in Harbour Island for the holidays. And I've been advised exactly where he proposed to do this marina. So I'm going to take a personal look at this, and I'm going to write the leader of the opposition to ask him if he could get his hands on this heads of agreement, because we know minutes fucks up the last one. So we can't trust him. And we know that his secretary to the cabinet, his cabinet secretary, Camille Johnson, has demonstrated gross incompetence. And the only reason why I haven't cursed her out the way I would like to curse her out is because I know her brother. And we were good friends for over 30 odd years. And he might not like me cursing out his sister, but she's grossly incompetent. The fact that she signed a document with a man who fraudulently put somebody else's signature. We're just in trouble. Just a bunch of incompetent Negro people. Just incompetent. Incompetent. It's just a national disgrace what these Negroes are doing. All right? And they fool me. Because when you see educated people doing nonsense, it's because they are involved in skullduggery. A man taught me that many years ago. He said to me, "You see that guy there? He's well educated. You see how he's acting? Stupid. You think he's stupid?" I said, "No, sir." He said, "That means he's up to a game." Don't ever forget it, eh? When you see educated people, intelligent people acting stupid, they are gangsters. They're running games on us. All right? All jitney drivers, send me your route, because Orville Russell has reported in. He's on Route 14 with lots of Negroes on the journey. I'll be right back after the break.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV Studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. My name is Rodney Monker. My spiritual advisor, praise the Lord, is Bradley Rule. Bradley, welcome.
Thank you.
Back again.
Thank you, Mr. Monker.
Well, I have a letter in studio because Freedom March, we play journalism. And as we play journalism, the people are responding to us positively. Richard Dick Lightburn. He's the former F&M Member of Parliament for Montague. You would recall that he was a part of a revolution, an attempted revolution in the party, in which we overthrew for many months the leader of the opposition, Dr. the Honorable Hubert Alexander Minnis. And in his place, we put in power decent Loretta Butler Turner. But Minnis was to get his revenge, as Minnis got out a dull cutlass, and weeks later, being in control of the party, he moved to turn them back. Well, Richard Lightburn, praise the Lord, is still interested in nation building. And many times when I'm having undercover meetings with the former Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Hubert Alexander Ingram, he would show up. Once he gives that signal, the door is open to him. Well, he's written us a letter. It's a very long letter. So I'm going to determine how we're going to read this letter. But let's start with it. It is addressed to the editor. And it goes like this. When the PLP administration was voted out of office in May of 2017, they left behind many unanswered questions. Questions to which I am sure the majority of the Bahamians still want answers. Notwithstanding that administration's assurance that it was open and transparent in its deliberations, it was clear to all but the party revisionists that it was anything but transparent. One can easily fill columns and pages of instances in which the PLP administration withheld information from the Bahamian people, information to which the citizens were entitled. The public purse was, in many instances, treated as if it was monopoly money, and the government was prepared to sacrifice the financial well-being of the citizenry in its blind quest to be returned to office. In the waning months of the prior administration, it happily employed thousands of persons, notwithstanding that many of the offices in which they were placed were already overcrowded and further funds were not available or even allocated in the budget to pay their wages. When one starts analyzing the instances of abuse, it becomes immediately apparent that the perpetrators have clearly demonstrated that they are not fit for public office and cannot be trusted. Let us consider the case of the Bank of the Bahamas and the siphoning off of $100 million of bad debt to Resolve Corporation. Really, what did that resolve? Apart from adding another $100 million to the national debt. At the time that the government announced its plans to bolster the financial picture of the Bank of the Bahamas by removing $100 million of bad debt and transferring it to Resolve. It was evident to the then opposition and to many in the media that a promissory note from Resolve to Bob, that's the Bank of the Bahamas, for the face value of the bad debt was weightless without a government guarantee. The PLP administration vehemently denied that the government had guaranteed the payment of the promissory note. But now the chickens have come home to roost, and the Bahamian people are burdened with a further $100 million of loan debt, which the government is compelled to borrow in order to cover the weightless promissory note issued by Resolve. A major matter of concern to the Bahamian public is the list of those persons who were a part of the Resolve account. It was of particular interest to the public when it was public perception that the majority of those loans were made to persons who were regarded as family, friends, and lovers. No less a person than the former Prime Minister undertook on several occasions to provide Parliament with a list of the persons whose bad debts were transferred to Resolve. However, despite those assurances, the information was never forthcoming. Is that an instance of transparency? Resolve is not a bank, and consequently, the information is not protected by bank privacy considerations. And I call upon the F&M government to share the information which the PLP government undertook to produce with the Bahamian public. It is also incumbent upon the government to tell the public what portion of the bad debt has been collected and whether any part of the debt was written off. When one hears stories of former members of Parliament or high-profile individuals in the community owing substantial sums of monies to the Bank of the Bahamas with wholly inadequate security having been provided, the public must again ask whether this is a case of the former government turning a blind eye while the Bank of the Bahamas was treating the bank's money as if it was monopoly money. In normal circumstances, reports of a former member of Parliament owing in excess of $25 million should cement the public's view that the persons largely responsible for placing the financial affairs of the Bank of the Bahamas and the financial affairs of the nation in its present state should never again consider offering for public office. On the other hand, it is small wonder that the average person is unable to obtain financing from the Bank of the Bahamas when those in a position of authority have effectively milked that cow dry. Persons who operate in this manner should never again darken the halls of Parliament. Another national disgrace is the manner in which the previous administration shrouded the nation's investment in BAMSI in mystery. What began as a noble project appears to have merged into another monopoly money project. Initially, there was talk of spending $10 million on BAMSI, and this quickly mushroomed into suggestions that the former Prime Minister could be spending up to $100 million. Where's page? This is page 3. The building of the physical structure, which the previous government commissioned, was without exception given to persons without bid, and in many instances granted to persons with close political ties to the PLP, at least two of whom had, in all likelihood, never hammered a nail in their lives. Granting contracts in this manner would, in all likelihood, enable the persons to whom such contracts were granted the ability to purchase boardwalk when they finish the project. Again, the government, and in this instance, the present leader of the opposition, agreed to disclose the details of the several contracts to Parliament, but the information was never forthcoming. Is this another example of transparency by the previous administration? The project became sidelined by the details surrounding the Bamsey fire. As was the habit of the former administration, the details were again shrouded in secrecy, although the government continued to suggest that it was a transparent administration. The present leader of the opposition assured the House that the building which was destroyed was insured. But when this was shown not to be true, he then assured the country that the contractor, one Audley Hanna, who just happened to be one of his election generals, would personally reimburse the government the total value of the loss. But surprise, surprise, the new structure, which was to replace the building which was destroyed, would cost substantially more than the initial structure. In light of the fact that no information was forthcoming from the PLP administration, it is incumbent on the present government to share the information which was withheld with the Bahamian public. As that all PLP advertisement used to say, we thought that you would like to know. And indeed, the Bahamian people would like to know. Did Mr. Audley Hanna, an election general of Philip Davis, repay any money to the Treasury? And if so, how much? And if not paid, what steps does the government propose employing to collect it? Perhaps Mr. Philip Davis proposes coming to Mr. Hanna's rescue. In any transparent administration, heads would roll in the Ministry of Works for its negligence in issuing $1 to Mr. Hanna without the requisite insurance in place. In the absence of a full and frank disclosure, it is not unreasonable to expect that members of the public are left to speculate whether the very head of the ministry is responsible for the negligence. I am sure Bahamians would not be surprised to find, notwithstanding the assurance of the present leader of the opposition, that Mr. Hanna had not repaid 1 red cent to the Treasury. In addition to the above-mentioned questions, I would now call on the government to inform the public as to the state of affairs in Bamsey, and specifically, 1, the extent to which the building at Bamsey are being utilized. 2, the total sum invested by the Bahamas government in Bamsey to date. 3, the total amount paid to Mr. Audley Hanna or his company. 4, the amount repaid by Mr. Hanna to date. 5, the annual sum injected by the government in Bamsey since inception. 6, the annual sums received from Bamsey for the sale of its produce. 7, if Mr. Hanna has not repaid the sums advanced to him, what step does the government propose taking to recover the loss? It is appreciated that the government has more important things to address at this time than recovering more information, which may be embarrassing to the former government. Nevertheless, there are far too many matters which were left in abeyance, the truth of which needs to be exposed to the Bahamian people. The government can start by sharing details on the few matters addressed in this letter. Yours sincerely, Richard Lightburn. Well, the PLP is invited to respond to Richard Lightburn, and then I'll read their letter. How does that sound, my spiritual advisor?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Is there anything that I've said so far that you
mean that Richard
anything?
letter said? No.
Richard Lightburn, anything?
I'm not getting into it.
You're not going to get into
No,
it?
no.
Would you like to curse my people?
No, man, no.
The Haitian
no,
people?
No.
Listen, I want you to stop it, you know, because
the law deals with people who
Okay.
break immigration or violate immigration laws, so I'm not going to get into that.
Yeah. Carl Bethel, the Attorney General, has made some stupid comments in the newspaper. I want to deal with that. In fact, I have the article on the Attorney General, Carl Bethel, and then I have an article on his state minister in the Attorney General office, Ellsworth. What is Ellsworth's name?
Johnson.
I'm getting old. Ellsworth Johnson. Ellsworth Johnson made a contribution in the parliament. He tells the parliament that he wants a sober debate, right? On, let me be fair. I have to be fair. Because he is Oscar Johnson's son. And I don't like to bother with Oscar Johnson children, because their daddy is such a great patriot, their late father, that his children, when I see them going astray, I usually close my eye, because I don't want to see nothing that they're doing, because these are Oscar children. And the blessing of their father, I wish to continue to see them get it. But on this one, rape, this one involved woman, you know. And you know, whenever somebody bother with man, woman, they fall out. Your best friend. No matter how good the best friend is. Boy, if he start talking about the woman, you fall out. I don't know why. Why is it like that? That you and I could be the best of friends until I start talking to you about your woman. And then we fall out.
Just understanding the relationship between a man and a woman. When you say your woman, you're talking with your wife, right?
Could be your girlfriend.
That's just the reality.
Could be a
woman is dear to a man's heart.
Okay.
You know, so you just got to be careful how you deal with the female of a male.
Well, you better tell that to him. Ellsworth. State Legal Affairs Minister Ellsworth Johnson wants deliberations in the public domain about marital rape to be sober amid continued consultation of the drafted amendment to the Sexual Offences Act intended to criminalize non-consensual sexual intercourse between husband and wife. Speaking in Parliament, the minister said women, men, nor children are property, adding someday the country must come to a conclusion as to what it will do with women. Isn't that amazing? We will do with women what we have been doing for the last 200 years. They either become our wives, they either are our mothers, they are our sisters or our daughters. What the heck are you talking about? What we can do with women? We can love the woman then. All right? He also said it was his hope the Freedom of Information Act would be fully brought into force by the end of this year. I want to commend persons in society for identifying the fact that woman or man or children are not property. So as we go through these deliberations, I want it to be sober. I want to understand what the Constitution is all about. But the discussions are ongoing, and someday we have to come to the conclusion as to what we will do with our woman. So we have had those public consultations. You hear what he's saying? So we have had those public consultations. Nothing is written in stone. The Bahamas Christian Council has sent their recommendation, and a number of other civil society groupings are sending their consultation. So you all had your public consultation. Well, I have been doing my research because one of the members of the Christian Council used to be a member of my family by marriage. And so the divorce was nasty. So I've convinced my female relative that because she is the respondent, she is entitled to the file. I told her we need to get the file so that the Christians at the Christian Council and Carl Bettel could see what she had to go through, the suffering. All right? He is not worthy to send any recommendation because he kept all kinds of sweetheart on my relative. You hear me? All kind of sweetheart he kept on my relative. She had to divorce him. He's no good. And since we are talking about marital rape and all these things, we have to show the president that one of his key men is not saved. You can't be a pastor, keep in sweetheart, and every time you get catch, you just say, Lord, I've sinned, forgive me. And you just keep sweethearting. And every time my cousin catch you, all right? I'm not going to tell you because it would not be proper for me to tell you when she came to me and she said, if I thought Monkey Tamarind would work. And I said to her, what do you mean? And she said she was going to put Monkey Tamarind in the pulpit. And I said to her, woman of God, you going to put Monkey Tamarind in the pulpit? I said, if you can put Monkey Tamarind, you carry your Monkey Tamarind where the man living with you. Don't put it in God's house. Because I'm opposed to it. No mother of the church who pastoral husband is keeping sweetheart should put Monkey Tamarind in the pulpit. All right? Now, I'm not going to tell you that you could put it in your bed because that would not be proper. But not in the pulpit. A bunch of hypocrites talking about marital rape. And you all ain't saved. You all ain't saved. You all keep sweetheart. Many of the children in the choir belong to the pastor. You hear me? Many of the children. The next time you go to one of the church, just look at the people in the choir. Look at the young people in the choir. Have you ever noticed it?
I've never noticed that, Mr.
Yeah.
Michael. You seem to know a lot of things.
Of course! How you mean? I'm 61. I'm 61.
And when making a point, why do you go back to people's past lives in this
Because
sense?
they're getting in my life. They want to make me a criminal. Huh? They want to call decent married men criminals with their no good self and their double standards. If you want to call a married man a criminal, then every member of the Christian Council who used to keep sweetheart and is currently keep sweethearting should confess to Carl. That's what they should do. I'm after them. A bunch of hypocrites talking nonsense and living double standard. And some of y'all don't even take care of your outside children. Huh? I believe that if you're a pastor and you're keeping sweetheart and you have outside children, my God, you must take up a collection with the outside family. Huh? With your no good self. You're dealing with me, with your no good, double standard self. Any pastor who has two families and is not taking care of his sweetheart and her children, you'll bust hell open. Talking nonsense, double standard. I want to tell some of y'all, go and mind your sweetheart children. Because your sweetheart children look more like you than the children of the marriage. I don't know why. Why the sweetheart children is look more like the man? Huh?
I can't answer that, man. I don't know.
You don't know why?
I've never experienced this, so I don't know.
You don't know people?
You mean some of you have preachers in this country who have children outside?
Of course!
Okay.
What you mean? They're man. All right? And man can fall in love. All right?
And sin, yeah.
My problem is they're talking about marital rape. Delton Fernanda, who in Christian Council is not minding their outside children. They ain't saved. A saved man will mind his children. This is Freedom March. They got me upset. Oscar Johnson's son talking about sober. This could never be sober. It's about woman.
Do you have something to say to the senator? Call Freedom March at 323-7775. Toll free from anywhere in the Bahamas at 242-300-0045. Freedom March with Rodney Monker, only on ILTV. Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. Simultaneously, we are on radio, 105.3 FM, The Beat. My spiritual advisor is Bradley Roll. Bradley, how are you?
I'm doing great, Mr. Monker.
And my name is Rodney Monker. The Anglican Church has given me a number of tickets because, you know, the Easter holiday is drawing near. And so they've given me tickets to give out. And for some reason, I don't know where I put the Anglican people them ticket. They also have a raffle that is taking place. It's all in aid of St. James. I think I'm calling the name correctly. St. James Anglican Church, located in that African village called Adelaide. And tickets are being sold on weekends, Super Value Cable Beach, and throughout the day at Woigos Car Rentals. So I want you to go there and buy tickets and help out the Anglican Church. Don't forget, you know, the Anglican Church historically was a part of the Catholic Church. And then there was a dispute. I think it was King Henry. Was it King Henry?
The 8th.
The 8th. King Henry VIII, remember the English monarch who couldn't get his male heir and kill all of Anne Boleyn and them? And there was one major thing. He wanted the Catholic Church to annul his marriage. And His Holiness, the then Pope, refused. And so Henry broke and formed the Anglican Church. I used to know the date in history, but as I get older, I have forgotten. So, the Anglican Church and the Catholic Church save that priests in the Catholic Church do not get married, but priests in the Anglican Church do. But basically, they are of the same Christian denomination. The only difference is the marriage. So I want you to buy their tickets. My late uncle, Chief Superintendent Dwight Monker, it was his favorite place of worship. So I'm honored to do it. And I don't know where I put those tickets. So I'm not sure
How much more tickets do you have?
Huh? I have quite a number of tickets, but I don't want to give them out.
You can find them.
Unless I find them, you know. So they're either here somewhere or
in your
at
car.
my office.
Okay.
So we'll forget it for the time being. Carl Bettel, the Attorney General, he was the Negro official who said that the Prime Minister did not have the lawful authority to grant, what do we call it? Noli prosequi, no prosecution. Remember when we had all of this debate? When Ambadar Thompson, the father of social service minister, told the press at the last hearing before the case, the charges were dismissed. He told them how Dr. Minnis had betrayed them, how Dr. Minnis led them over the bridge to Yagdan private fence and promised that they would be liberated once the FNM came to power. You remember all that talk? And then Carl Bettel got in it Well, I want to read Carl Bettel's response to the Tribune so I can show you that Carl, as a Negro, needs to learn how, when it's a time, when it's important to keep quiet. And I thought when the Tribune put question to him, he got to learn how to duck the question. Where's Carl's article so I could read it to you? This one is Elspeth Johnson. I'm so happy his father isn't alive to see the nonsense he's running on, because I can tell you one thing. If there was one Bahamian man I know that loved the woman them, was his daddy. Well, his father gave me a philosophy on how to handle and manage woman. You hear me? He told me how to manage woman. And from he told me that, all I could do is manage the woman. Where the heck is this thing? Well, I don't see it, so Carl, you will escape today. Any people on the phone call, read me some text.
You have people on...
Read text.
Where's my glass? Oh.
Because I can't find this thing. Read text.
Yeah. I'm going to read some text right now for you. Good day, Mr. Monica. Tell them like it says sometimes. I know... Sorry, forgive me. Good day, Mr. Monica. Tell them like it says sometimes. Monica, I know you want to use the right word of those evil people, but don't let them cost you, Mr. Monica. Just tell them the truth. They want to keep you quiet, but you and the spiritual advisor are doing a good job. Excellent job. Keep up the good work, Mr. Monica.
I thank you.
Good afternoon to all those... Sorry. Good afternoon to all those people. Please, please, please. Tell the Bahamians to stand up for our country. Please keep teaching our people. For a guy from CC Sweden, you have a lot of knowledge than the private school boys. They don't teach the people anything. We want to thank you and the spiritual advisor for everything.
We thank you for those kind words.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. This country is in a mess. Mr. Vaughn Miller hit the nail on the head, talking about people not feeling there for them anymore, and banks are taking people's homes on a regular. The minister said he feels the people's pain daily. He was brave and so truthful for what he said out loud. Ms. Monica, do you think the FNM get the point yet that people are struggling? And or should the minister talk with his party in private before letting the animal out the cage on his party?
I think the Minister Vaughn Miller, is a man of God. And you have to talk openly. Because you know what kind of man Minister is? Minister is arrogant. Minister has hard head. So you got to talk openly. Simple as that.
Richard Lightburn is trying to suck up to the FNM. Sorry, Richard, it's a bit too late.
Richard don't need to suck up to the FNM. Richard comes from a generation of land and money. All right? Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Mr. Monica. I'm the spiritual advisor. Mr. Monica, I'm very disturbed by what you have said today. You made it known that you are very unhappy with the magistrate going to Nagua to hear the case of the illegal landing. Additionally, you started the 2-minute boat. You started that 2 more boats are on the way. How do you know this? Are you involved in human trafficking? How do you have knowledge of the movement of illegals to circumvent our immigration laws? I will inform Papa to keep his distance from you. You appear to be in persona non grata. I will tell Papa to be aware of the ideas of March. Spiritual advisor, you're a good sack man. You know this story well. You're not going to answer? Good afternoon.
Honorable Senator, please tell Paul Billy the bathroom at the Potterski dock is bad, bad, bad. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Mr. Monica, spiritual advisor. Ms. Monica, you serious? You French kiss a woman?
You need to come by my place and pick up 2 chicken sauce for you and your friend. I have the best
glad you cut me
sauce in the world. This is Elvis. Elvis, where is this sauce? Because the spiritual advisor, he needs some sauce.
Mr. Monica, you're the spiritual advisor. Can you send a happy birthday shout out to Nadia Allen over in Tappan Bay.
Nadia Allen in Tappan Bay.
Yeah, she's listening. She's one of the women them.
Listen, my father was born at Tappan Bay.
Lillian Carey is calling.
My grandmother was born there. Her parents were born on the island of Eleuthera. You are my people. Happy birthday to you. And I'm happy that you are one of the woman them. I need you to organize one of the woman them branch so I can move from island to island to meet with the woman them and to inspire them to reject gender equality and to stay far from Marion Beryl, Sandra Dane, and that bigoted Jamaican woman. Okay? This is powerful.
Good afternoon, Mr. Monica. Could you say if your investigation into Frankie Campbell is completed as yet?
Oh no! Don't forget
Excuse
now,
me?
Menace was in Haiti. And Menace is doing his own little investigation.
Good day, gentlemen. Love your shows, but not getting you on the radio in Freeport today.
The radio ain't working in Freeport? What about the TV? Hi, please don't forget to mention Blake Road Training Center. Smell bad and making people sick. And what else is happening there? And get mold in the building. Don't forget the Blake Road building, please. Listen, why are the workers on Blake Road at the government training center being exposed to all this mold and stink building? Come, Romy, you're the minister responsible for the environment. Go there and save the workers. They've been complaining to me all day. Okay?
Good afternoon, Mr. Monica. It's about time we start dealing with all these illegals. When they are apprehended, they're found with contraband or firearms. Prosecute them, fingerprint them, and deport them.
That's the law. If somebody enters the country unlawfully, that is what you do. But those who were born in the Bahamas, tread lightly and be sensitive. They were born here, and we must give them citizenship. Simple as that. The illegal ones, you can catch them and send them away. But those who were born here, they must remain here. Go ahead.
I say, why are you mad? Because the Tribune have that on the front page. I'm not mad. When they have the PLP on the front page, you don't say anything. You think this government is God? Oh, come on, be nice.
Senator, why spiritual advisor keep praising the man who threatened to kill you? Man, spiritual advisor, I see you clearly. Repent.
That person ain't safe. Mr. Monica, the PM made a joke of himself at the sign, and he said this is the real thing he's signing.
Well, once again, it tells you Menace's mental makeup. It is interesting to note that he has told us that this one is the real thing. That is clear evidence that he accepts that gangsterism was committed in his presence. Hello, welcome to Freedom March. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Monica.
My love.
Can you ask the spiritual advisor if the Bahama Journal is a tabloid?
I didn't say it was.
Okay, well, I have an article in here I'd like for you to take note of.
What is that, my dear?
It says the BCAA working to stop improper flying practices.
Okay.
And we had yesterday's Tribune where the families of those two missing sailors
Yes.
have not yet been found, and we haven't heard if there's any investigation, any, what is going on with them. And for the aircraft that crashed, the families of those persons are still waiting for the remains to be identified so that they can move on with their matter. But in this article, on the end,
yes,
Mr. D'Aguila said that the BCAA has a moral and legal obligation to ensure that when the traveling public boards an aircraft, there must be a level of confidence and satisfaction, and that the pilot of these aircraft should have undergone the required due diligence. Is this not the same for the Marine? I'm going to hang up and hear what you have to say.
What I'm going to do is, as you know, D'Aguila is my cousin. And he's promised me and Rupert Roberts that he will come on my show. I think I'm going to invite him now. I'm no longer angry with him. And I feel like playing family. So I'm going to send him an invitation and bring him on. Plus, I need him to start advertising with me again. Okay? Hello! Welcome to Freedom March.
Senator,
God save the Queen.
a few weeks ago, we had an official team went to Haiti.
Yes?
Did you hear that the team was actually searched by the police?
I understood that
Excuse me.
the Honorable Prime Minister was searched.
Yes.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Carlton Francis some time ago when he was Minister of Finance.
Yes.
When
Yes.
he was searched.
Yes.
And when he came back to Nassau, he shut down the airport
He did.
just to let them know that it was wrong for them to do. Now, in my opinion, I don't know why then that if they go to Haiti on an official whatever,
Visit.
they had to be put in that kind of
Well, once
situation.
again, you see, I think Mr. Dr. Menace made a mistake when he sent Frankie Campbell, the Minister of Transport. Let us first start off by establishing that Frankie cannot prove that he's a citizen of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. It was better that he took a chance and sent me, because I could prove that I am a citizen of the Bahamas. And had he sent me to Haiti, I would have gotten President Moïse to respect Menace, and he would not have been searched. You follow? He didn't send, he should have sent somebody who he knows was a Bahamian. I am a Bahamian.
Yeah, but how many Bahamians went along with the Prime Minister, though?
But are we talking about advanced people who went there in preparation? If President Donald Trump was coming to the Bahamas, weeks, perhaps months, before he arrived,
Yeah, he would have this
officials
FBI
will
and the
come
CIA
here.
and all that.
We will know that when Donald Trump arrived, Air Force One don't mess around. And the president is not to be searched. All right? You remember? Where was it? It was either China or Russia. China. And I think the Chinese security said they had to board Air Force One. And every American who came on that plane told them, not this Air Force One. And the Americans had some of the best high-powered men and weapons. And they would have defended Air Force One. Now, if I had gone to Haiti and the chief of the Haitian police draw near, once I saw what he was going to do, I would have said to him in Haitian Creole, my brother, please do not search Menace. Because while he is Prime Minister of the Bahamas, Menace is a bigger Haitian than me and you.
Yeah, but let's make sense out of this, though. I mean,
Hello, welcome to Freedom March.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, my dear.
How are you doing today?
My spiritual
we're doing great.
advisor.
We're doing great.
Yeah?
We're doing great.
Watch that cough that you have there. I hope that clears up soon. That's lingering now.
All right,
Okay,
well,
did you feel
it's just
better?
started. I normally have this like 2 months. Last year,
Oh, Lord,
same thing.
no, but we ain't claiming that today, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, gentlemen, I wanted to touch on the comments made in the House of Assembly this week by Minister Vaughn Miller.
Yes?
And it's quite interesting, you know, Mr. Monker. You see, when Mr. Miller was still up at the radio station, and he would just go on every day ranting and raving and carrying on about the former government and talking about making the Commonwealth more common and all this sort of stuff, right?
Yes?
Now that he is in the chair and he's in Parliament and he sees the problems the people are faced with daily, you heard how he spoke with such passion.
Oh, my God.
Like I said, it's fine and good to talk when you're on the outside. But
Yes.
when you get in there, it's a different ball game.
Yes?
It will be interesting to see now that he has spoken out, what will happen. Because, you know, look like when you speak out against the powers that be, you're kind of labeled as being somebody who's not part of the program.
Right.
You know, but there are challenges, and what he's saying is true, Mr. Monica. You see, everybody was promised this quick fix after May 10th.
Yes?
A lot of the young people felt that every problem would have been resolved. There would have been jobs that you could pick, choose, and refuse from. And the reality is they were sold a dream
Yeah.
that has not come to fruition. It was actually a nightmare.
Yeah.
You know?
That is true.
And people are restless. People are hurting in this country. You ever noticed the amount of young men who are on the street selling food and stuff now?
Yeah.
Record amount. And I don't know when we're going to get some real relief and help for the people. And another thing before I go, gentlemen, the tone of voice that Mr. Jeffrey Lloyd spoke in the House of Assembly. You know, it's always this condescending tone of voice.
But he's not saved, you know.
No, he's really not. He's not saved. You know, and it doesn't matter what you say, but how you say it. And a lot of them seem to be adopting this attitude where you're shouting and speaking down to people.
Yeah.
It's not a good thing,
Yeah.
you know? But anyway, gentlemen, carry on. The show, you all are doing an excellent job. Continue to speak truth to the people. Because, Mr. Monica, I know that you always speak truth. It's not what the people may want to hear all the time, but you are speaking truth. So continue to do it. God bless you both.
God bless you too, ma'am.
Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and God save the Queen.
God save the Queen, my Negro sister.
Take care.
God
Okay.
save the Queen. It's powerful. And I thank you for those comments. Anybody else on the phone? No more people? Hello, welcome to Freedom March.
A very pleasant good evening.
Hello, how are
Very
you?
pleasant good evening.
Sweetie.
Yes.
Senator and spiritual advisor, how y'all doing today?
How you doing,
Well,
sweetie?
sweetie, you got
Just wanna
1
say hello and
minute.
hail my Bahamas. You know, you're doing a good job, and
We thank
just,
you.
Watching you all, and I want the Bahamas to know that you all get the top-notch show in the Bahamas and the world.
We thank you.
God bless you in the Bahamas.
And God save the Queen, my
God
brother.
save
Thanks a lot, sweetie.
This is powerful. This is
Yeah.
powerful. I'll deal with Carl Bettel tomorrow. All right? Now, on the 26th of this month, Alive representatives, they're going to come here on Freedom March. And then I'm going to tell the Chinese lady from Ancient Secret that she can come on the show as well. All right? So Alive is coming here because I have some questions to put to Alive. They're going to join me, and I'm going to have the Chinese lady to come with Ancient Secret. Hello, welcome to Freedom March. Hello? Yes, speak up a little louder.
How you doing, your spiritual advisor, Mr. Roll? How you doing?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm fine.
Okay, Mr. Monka, I know you seem to be a big fan of Mr. Hubert Ingram, but he is a big. He's wide. He's one of the persons widest country is the way, you know, the things that he did. He wasn't all that bad, but then, you know, he wasn't all that good.
What
either.
sin has Papa committed?
Mr. Monka, we be here all day, but he
Give
is
me-
wide.
give me
He's
one.
the way it is.
Because I'm going to see him soon, and I could put that to him. What? Give me
The
one.
overrun with the roads, you know,
You mean the roads?
the roads.
Now be careful, because Papa told me, right, that on the road there's water settling. And Papa said the water is settling because the man who was supposed to make sure it didn't settle, the PLP got rid of. Because
He
I
also
put
sold
question
the
to Papa.
for the chicken feed.
Huh?
Another thing, he sold the talco for chicken feed.
Yeah, okay.
All
That's
right.
another thing.
Criticize
Mr.
him,
Moga,
yeah.
to be honest with you, Mr. Ingram, he went up on the platform on the election campaign and he endorsed Hubert Minnis.
Well, he did that.
And so, I mean, I'm hearing now that they're having secret meetings. Is it against?
Well, Papa always holding secret meeting. And even when Papa ain't holding meeting, once the people see Papa, they start holding meeting. You hear me? The last time I was with Papa, a white woman showed up. And listen to me. I didn't know what this was going on. All she did is hold meeting. And all I did is watch her and Papa. So everywhere Papa go, the people are holding meeting. And they are complaining to Papa over the slackness of Dr. Minnis, over the inefficiency. People are just complaining. And what I've been doing is I've been telling them, if you don't like what the FNM is doing, complain to the Right Honorable Hubert Alexander Ingram. Everybody's complaining to Papa. Okay? She gone?
Yeah, I think she's not there.
Yeah. Well, my spiritual advisor, what
Yeah.
time is it now?
It's the people's time.
What time is it?
It's the people's time.
Now, Paul Willie, has he fixed the toilets?
Well, yeah, man, I got some beautiful pictures
And
here,
what
man.
about the bathroom?
They're making good progress down
Yeah?
at the fish fry.
At Fish Fry?
Oh, yeah, I reckon, yeah, a lot of good progress. So, bathroom is being repaired, lights are being lit up, areas being cleaned, Stalls are being checked every month. Uniforms are being placed on all those
Does he have
people
a
who
Bahamian
work.
flag at our arcade?
Of course, I think there's a Bahamian flag,
Where?
eh?
Where's it located?
There should be one.
When he says I saw
I'll find
one,
from
it was at the
Paul,
police
but
station.
all of the employees that work for the government of the Fish Fry, they have uniforms and then
They
name
have
tags.
uniforms now?
They're gonna put
What y'all
uniforms
doing with
on
them
them.
big fat rats?
Exterminate them, eh?
Don't tell me exterminate it. Tell Paul Billy I want to catch the rat. All right?
Why, you want to give them to the Chinese?
Stop it. You stop that, okay? How dare you attack my people, the Chinese people? You stop it, okay? Because I love chop suey.
You love
I love chop suey. I love Chinese food. And Chinese are hard working
Yeah, but the
people.
Fish Fry is up and coming, man. And
Anyway, folks, it looked like we have to go. But if God's will, we'll be here tomorrow. And then, of course, I'll raise the issue over Carl Bettel, because Carl was talking nonsense. All right? Give me some music of my ancestors. Turn it up high. Come on, Spiritual
have a great
Advisor.
evening, everybody. Until we meet again, may God bless you, bless you, guys.
Oh! La, 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 la. Take good care, everybody. And we are happy. What happened to the goat
Is
skin?
that a national anthem?
Where's the goat skin drum? These Negro people don't listen, right? That's why you trouble. You have to listen to leadership. To the woman there, take good care. Good night.
Good night.
God save the queen.
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.